Yes, brilliant from the Roosters, 40 points to 6, and it was only seconds to go when they let that 6 points in. Naturally, Robinson would have been keen on the duck egg, but wasn't to be. Game 300 for the Supercoach. They ran riot. Dom Young, a double. Loving his time at the Roosters, 12 tries from 12 games this season. But it did come at a cost. Joey Manu fracturing his finger. West Tigers 2 sin bins in the second half. It was sin bin Sunday. Brian, when's Swaliti back?
He, with the bye, so he's missed 2 now. I think he'll be back. So they got the bye.
Did the Origin count as one of them?
No, it didn't, which was ridiculous.
Oh, that is ridiculous.
How ridiculous is that?
Yep.
So you get suspended in
Yep.
Origin, but you can't use an Origin as one of your 4 games.
Oh, you know what, though? Did they have a game beforehand? Like, he couldn't have played both. He couldn't have played the round game and the State of Origin. Did he miss a round game potentially?
No, he missed 5 weeks of the Chooks with the bye.
Yep. Okay.
So he's missing 5. Really, yeah, he doesn't play for 5 weeks. So he's got 2 more weeks.
2 more weeks.
Well, he'll miss 2 more games.
Wow.
Because it's the bye.
Yeah.
And they play Melbourne and the Dragons again. Or the Dragons this week, isn't it?
Yep.
So, yeah. So he'll miss 2 more games.
2 more games. Gee
Yep.
whiz. What'd you make of them, Brian?
They were very good. Just too much firepower down the middle.
This kid, Terrell May's having a good season.
He's going good. Angus was relatively quiet, I thought, considering how he's been playing the last couple of weeks. But no, they were just too strong for him, too powerful. And then on the edges, they just got guys who can just ice it. So it was a bit of a lesson for the young Tigers, I thought. Like now they know where they're at, if you know what I mean. You know, they've had a couple of good wins. But they're up against the big boys here.
You just got the replay here of this hand injury from Joey Manu.
No,
a month
it
he'll
was
miss.
quite innocuous, wasn't it?
Mm.
He uses it a lot. He uses that left palm a lot, doesn't he?
Bloody oath he does.
So they're going to be skinny in the centres. Billy Smith isn't right. That ankle's still giving him trouble. So,
and they can't get Nwanganatazi because he's now made the Olympic 7 side.
yeah, can't grab him. So
That was
they've got Satilli playing on the centre, who did a great job, I thought. But I wonder who they're going to whack in there. Junior's out, isn't he?
And we're back to June 30 too, aren't we? Like, there's no changes now. I think we're all locked and loaded now.
Yeah.
1st of July.
So Junior Palga, he's gone for he got 4 as well.
Yeah, he's got 4.
So there's 4 centres that not
and
available.
Jennings, did he play this game?
He's done his hammy.
Yeah, he's been sidelined as well. So they're a bit thin out there at the moment, but you know they'll have
as
someone.
thin as Brad Walter's hair. That's what I'm saying.
There's Satilli. Put a nice little try assist in for the number 6, Luke Keary. Dragons 26, so they lost 38 blot in round 2 to the Dolphins, but they responded 26-6. It was actually a tough, gritty performance from both sides, I thought.
Yeah, the first half, not much given, and then the fitness of the Dragons was quite telling in the second half. They're going good.
They are.
Jack
DeBellin's playing well.
They are going good. Jaden Sewell was the star, I thought. The halves sort of got them around the park really well, but yeah, they look really good when they defend their line. They look really good. Like they're all in sync.
Yep.
Bye.
Yep. They're doing something well, that's for sure. The Dolphins have lost 4 of their past 5. They've got the hammer injury. Jerry Marshall-King injured in the loss. Will they drop out of finals contention? Because you've got the Rabbitohs coming up who are running into a bit of a groove. Panthers, Titans, Roosters, and the draw continues to be hard for the rest of the year. Some may say, has Bennett got one eye on the Bunnies already, Brian?
Well, yes, my spies. Well, did you read that article about Jai Arrow getting season-ending surgery?
Yes.
Don't know whether that's come to fruition yet, but my spies tell me that Wayne might have said, can you have him right by round 1 next year?
Yeah, wow.
Which is not cool.
No, it's not cool if that's the case. But in saying that, is their season plucked or not?
They've got to win 8 out of 10.
Okay.
I've got 25 reasons why they should be. I'm hoping they can. They've got to win 8 out of 10, and in those, they've got a relatively easy draw. When I say easy, I think they only play the top. They've got the Chooks, Melbourne, and Penrith, but they played Chooks last game. Could be
that's right. Restville.
Rest.com.
Yep.
If it's going to come down to that game again. This is exactly what happened last year with the Bunnies. Yep. Remember the Bunnies needed. The Chooks needed to win that game. So, but yeah, just getting back to the Jai Arrow thing. you would think that's not the case, but
that was being reported, Brian. Like, why would that be known? Like, wouldn't you just why would? So we're hearing he's going to play one more game, and then get the operation.
Yeah,
wouldn't it could have been a non-story if he just come off the game and said, "I'm no good. I'm getting the operation," and no one would question that.
No,
but now that you're looking ahead, it's quite weird, isn't it?
Very weird, especially when they need. Like, if he can play one game, he's been managing it the whole year. Whether or not that's true that Wayne has said to him, get it done now, get ready for the. But
I loved early in the year when they asked Jason Demetriou about it, and he said, "I had the same injury, and I managed it for 2 years," which was other words, Jai, keep playing, mate.
Yeah. Well, we've got Dr. Mark here. He might be able to help us. Dr. Mark, come in.
How are you, boys? I missed you all. I've missed you.
Oh, I've missed you. Where have you been? Sailing? You've been over in Europe, haven't you? Haven't you, Doc?
No, I've been king fishing here and just working, the usual things. Yeah. Now, I've got to get you on some good fishing, Fletch. That stuff up north, this tiny little barrier you're getting. Hook you onto a 90-plus centimetre kingfish and see how you go off Sydney.
Do you have it ceviche'd?
Yeah, that we do sometimes. The missus cooks it in many different ways. So they're good fish. Now back to Jai Arrow.
Yes.
Look, I think Wayne's probably on the mark in that he's being selfish, but it's not a bad option because if you look at Sam Burgess and Ian Thorpe, all these guys have shoulder injuries. The worse it is, the more damage you get when it's damaged, or whatever his problem is, the worse it is. So it's best to get it fixed early. Before there's too much damage. And Jai's been playing with that for nearly a year. So you wonder what damage he's got. So I think earlier the better, wouldn't it?
So why would he say, well, then why isn't he just doing it? Why is there one more game? And I suppose the other question is this, Brian, and Mark, Dr. Mark, what if he comes out and has a blinder? Could there be one more game in the colour maroon?
6 more beers.
Yeah. What do you reckon? Could that be...
Look, I'm sure that he could. But each game he plays, he does more damage. You remember when on the try line about a month ago,
I do.
He didn't get up.
Yep.
That he obviously really jarred it there and did more muscle and maybe some nerve damage, and that's the problem. He's a tough guy. They all are, as you guys know, and that's the problem. But being tough can make your long term, get worse long term problems. That's the trouble.
Okay, has Wayne also tapped Totola, Junior Totola, and Campbell Graham on the shoulder and said, boys, don't need to come back this year. So you don't know.
Yeah, look, that's a good point. I'm still unclear as to what Campbell Graham's problem is. It's some sort of cartilage on his sternum problem. And I'm not even sure if he's had surgery. I keep hearing different rumours. So,
no, he did. He had a plate put on there.
Did he?
Yep. He had a plate put on his sternum.
I don't quite understand that because you're putting plate onto the cartilage, I'd imagine. But I'm not a cardiothoracic surgeon. I don't know. But anyway, it would be. Any surgeon who does that, you'd probably think, well, I'd like him not to play at all.
Hey, Doc.
Shoulders. I know there's shoulder surgeons who say one of them doesn't do leagueies anymore because he says, look, I do all these operations on them. They're not supposed to be hit by 120 guys like Rhea Hargraves every 10 minutes.
That's right. Welcome back to the Run Home with Joel and Fletch. Continuing on the chat around round 17 of the National Rugby League. Newcastle Knights 34-26 over the Eels. We told you, Brian, didn't we, the holiday makers. When you're out of the mix and you're on your road, it's a bad proposition. Parramatta are out of the mix. They're on the road. Newcastle Knights. Will Price, he looked sharp.
Yeah, he looked really good. It was the best game of the round, I thought.
Yeah.
In the sense that the lead kept changing, but young Price. We said it was going to be was the price is right or the price was wrong.
That's right.
The price is wrong, bitch. They look good together. Jackson Hastings. Because they've gone through all this, they've gone through a lot of combinations this year, haven't they? They had Cogger, they had Gamble. This kid, he didn't overplay his hand, which I thought was really good. Sometimes young kids making their debut, they want to try and get too involved. No, he was very, very good. Priceless
on the Daily Telegraph front page of the Sport.
Well, we could have used that. Eels.
That was his dad too, wasn't it? Was that Leon?
Yeah.
In the crowd?
Yeah.
I wonder whether, he would have got the tip that he was playing and then just jumped on a plane, didn't he? Come out and what a great week.
No, it was good. Remember he made that comment about when the Pommies came out here and he said that Blackpool was better than Bondi and all the media bit. He was just G'ing up.
Yeah, that's right.
I can't believe they fell for it.
Oh, mate. Bradman Best.
Had the best.
Yeah, and look, anything can happen this weekend. So
if Latrell goes down or Critter goes down,
he's next cab off the rank.
He's next cab off the rank.
Yep. Rocks and diamonds for Blaze Talangi, Brian.
Yeah, he had a mixed game. He scored one, had a few good touches, but dropped the ball occasionally, especially off a kick. There was one that he was just offside, the Kai Pearce-Paul, so he got let off the hook. But he was a little bit rocks and diamonds. For whatever reason, they just forgotten how to win. The poor old Eels. Defensively too. I mean, they let him 34 points against a Newcastle side who aren't going great. That was a worry.
They're letting in 29 points a game.
Yeah.
That's nowhere near the mark, is it?
That's what the Rabbits were doing up until 5 weeks ago.
Mate, the last 3 weeks they've let in 12-0.
So I still don't believe it's a fitness thing. This is what people say. Oh, they look unfit. It's not. A first-grade rugby league player isn't unfit.
So what is it then?
It's just all between the ears.
Yeah.
It's just that extra little bit of desire.
Yep.
Just to sort of close that gate, sort of travelling across the field, and that's all it is. You got to be off a little bit.
Yep.
And South Sydney have got that recipe right at the moment.
Yep. The Warriors back in the winning circle, 32 points to 16. It was old boys there, so they've got up for the old boys, had a big win. Tamari Martin again started for the Warriors now. I think he's won about 6 or 7 games in a row when starting at halfback.
Yeah, for whatever reason, him and SJ are just not gelling.
No.
He needs to be the man at the moment. Sean Johnson was obviously struggling with that Achilles injury, and he's off for a month or so now. So they look, I hate to say it, they look a much better team with him in there.
A mate of mine said, who are you tipping out of the Broncos and the Warriors? And I said, it depends. He said, what does it depend on? I said, well, it depends on the mood Adam Fanua-Blake's in. If he runs for 150 metres or more, they'll win. If he doesn't, he ran for 70 or something, 60 or 70 last week.
Yeah.
So it all comes down to him. So what did he go for? Let's have a look. Just going through this to find Adam Fanua-Blake, played 51 minutes, 164 metres.
Yeah.
There you go.
Jackson Ford he's put him in the front row now the last couple of weeks. He's going good. They've swapped him and Mitchy Barnett around.
Chanel Harris-Tavita's a good story, isn't it?
Yeah.
Had the year off, wanted to write a book, and comes back and he's flying.
He went on a bit of a travel with Nathan Cleary, actually, after the World Cup. Okay. They all got together and hung out.
32-16. So alarm bells for the Broncos. Kevy rested the Origin Stars. I wonder whether both him and Ivan had an eye ahead to next week when they play each other. Well, this week now. Still no Adam Reynolds. 4th straight loss for the Broncos. They are outside the 8 looking in. Bulldogs 15-14. 6th straight win at Accor Stadium for the Doggies. So they have lost a game at Accor. That was to South, who effectively it was their home game. So they're the only team this year who remain undefeated at home. Stephen Crichton backs up after 48 hours of Origin. I was watching him in the warm-up. He didn't look well.
No.
He didn't look well.
What do you mean? What, sort of lame?
Yeah, it looked a bit lame. But I remember, I think I've told you the story where Tony Ray, the London Broncos coach, he picked Jimmy Dimmick one day just purely so we could see him in the dressing sheds ready to play. And I got a feeling that was sort of the go with Crichton. He was pretty quiet, but he just did his job, and what a superstar he is. Of course, Matt Burton gets the field goal. Nico Hines missed his in the press conference. I reckon Craig Fitzgibbon said ice the moments about 4 times. So he was very frustrated. They couldn't put it to bed. They've now lost 4 of their last 5, the Sharkies, Brian.
Everyone, they started off really, really well, but every team goes through this. Every team's going through a lull. The Broncos are going through it now. Cowboys were dreadful.
Yep.
But on the other side, they have turned the corner a little bit. They've won 4 of the last 5. It's just very hard to be consistent. Like Melbourne Storm, they're a marvel, aren't they?
Marvel.
When you think about it,
yeah.
How they just keep aiming up.
Yep.
But the Sharks, they're just going through it like every other team. I'm sure they'll still. I don't know whether the top 4.
Well, they got a dream draw. That's what keeps them there.
But I listened to Fitzy. You could tell the frustration, and usually he wouldn't say anything. But do you think that's him sort of having a crack at Nico saying, mate, you're getting paid a lot of money?
Yeah, it was complete frustration. Like we've got to move on from this. Like it's been a tough month. I think he just needs needs his star halfback back in the groove, which can certainly happen. This is their draw, Brian. So they've got the Titans in Coffs Harbour, the West Tigers the bye, Cowboys, Souths, Titans, Knights, Dragons, Warriors, Manly. So it's a pretty peach draw, really.
They've had that last couple of years, haven't they?
Yep, certainly have. Not when we take over the draw, Brian, in 2026, is it?
27 now. Yeah, we've been moved on.
Back.
Sorry. Yeah, they do, I think Berlin. I think the AI cyber broth is going to have. They're going to have a crack at it too.
Storm 16, the Raiders 6. So they're 4 points clear at the top. Munster and Pappy, they've mostly not had all year. Jerome Hughes, he's lost one game all year.
He's a gun.
Oh,
he's a gun. Bronson Garlick, I thought, played really, really good.
He did.
Raiders were up for it. They defended really well in that first half, but they used up all their juice.
So K.O. Weeks went to fullback.
K.O. Weeks went to fullback and scored a great try.
Yeah.
Cookie looked good.
Yeah, and they switched sides. So Strange has been playing on the left.
Yeah, he's on the right.
Put him on the other side.
Maybe just trying to change it up a bit, but they were never. They kept dropping the ball. The Raiders, it was frustrating to watch. They kept spilling the ball. Sticky wasn't happy, but Melbourne just keep going. And they got those. They panned to the coach's box, and they had sitting behind him was Pappenhausen, Meany, Munster, Grant.
Just salarycap.com.
Just salarycap.com. Just seeing when they all come back.
Wow.
Pappy's it's not too bad. I
don't think so. Yeah, that's fine. Raiders are hosting the Knights next Sunday, so that's a massive game Sunday afternoon. The Raiders and the Newcastle Knights. The Cowboys, 16 points to 6. 10 Origin players in total missing for the game. They are back in the top 8. They've got 2 Marcus Byers up their sleeve. And Kyle Felt, we spoke about this last week, Brian. He crossed for his 10th try, which is the 9th straight season. Only Ken Irvine and
Manu
Vadavai have achieved the same. So there you go. And it's their first win in Penrith since 2016.
Penrith are diabolical. Their kicking game, I've never seen a kicking game as bad, but the Cowboys, they defended their line for what seemed like an eternity in that first half. And that was the knock on them. The way they were winning games, but it was like 32-30. But the last month or so, geez, they've been defending well.
They have. Pick one NRL winner each week for the chance to win $2,500. Head to sensurvivor.com.au. That's all thanks to Bryden's Lawyers.